Hello everybody, welcome back to the Fast Travel Lounge. You're listening to episode 19. We have a show this week, not going to say big show because we are still on 3 people. Did anyone see where Josh went this week? I know that he left a message for us, but I didn't actually see where he went. Was it... No, Steve went to Clown Community College. Yeah, where did Josh go? Underwater level we've done. Need to figure out something else. Seth, what do you got?
So I just saw a note here that says Kingdom Hearts 4 is announced. The mouse is winning. Must go defeat capitalism.
I heard that because Kingdom Hearts is so shit, it gave him cancer.
Now
Fuck,
you
that's
listen
dark.
here, buddy.
Man, things took a turn. Whoa, all right. And what's even worse about... Oh, actually, you know what? I know where he went. He went to go see Mr. Samsung because someone had their phone replaced. But weirdly, in non-phone replacement news, I went and finally got one of them. What was the combo? Shaken dough combos from Krispy Kreme.
I don't know. Do they have the same combo in New Zealand?
I wanted to say shake and bake, but that makes no sense in the context. But
Not
finally.
in the context of Krispy Kreme, but shake and bake does go well together.
True. But yeah, went and had one for myself. Finally felt part of the community. Can no longer be called an ostrich. Feels good. Got a strawberry shake.
And you were rated out of 10.
Oh, easy 10. Because it was $10.
Strawberry shake?
$10.90 New Zealand. So I am saving money.
Strawberry shake, he says.
Strawberry. Mm.
Ooh.
Oh, and guess what donuts? Guess what donuts?
Were they original glazed?
Original glazed.
They were not. Do you know why?
Oh, dang.
Easter promotion, baby. We on that good Easter promotion Krispy Kreme sponsorship deal.
And one of these days I'll put in a sponsorship request.
One of these days, the only way that we're going to get popular is talking about Krispy Kreme, and it won't be anything about video games.
We do this every week with our fingers crossed.
Yeah, there's going to be like 5-minute clips of like, this was taken from a longer show, and everyone's like, yeah, no, we don't need to watch that.
Yeah.
we got our 5 minutes of entertainment, and we moved on.
We got the Krispy Kreme review.
Yeah, we did the weekly update. Yeah, well...
God, I want one so bad.
Yeah, I know, right? It was pretty good. I don't really have anything more to add to that. Normally it's before Around the Lounge we do phone updates in Krispy Kreme, and we've just did both.
How are the Easter donuts?
Good, actually. They were good. There was one filled and one not filled. Both delicious.
What's it filled with?
Caramel.
Ooh.
It was.
That's a lot of sugar.
It was like,
yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was filled with an Easter egg or something.
I'm pretty sure I meant
just the foil from an Easter egg was inside.
It was like a full build-it-yourself razor blade, like in all the Kinder Surprises.
Oh, nice! I miss those so much.
No, the amount of sugar that I had, I'm pretty sure the bus drove faster back to my house, or at least my perception of time got warped after a strawberry shake and 2 donuts than getting on a bus. But here we are. Anyone else have a tech update? I'm trying to sort of reaching for the topics that we normally go through.
I dropped my wireless earphone case so hard it stopped charging.
Doesn't sound like a phone though.
Yeah.
Probably not going to talk about that. Sorry.
I use it with my phone.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, no. So yes, what happened?
Yeah, no, it checks out. I'm
suddenly back in. So what flavor Krispy Kreme did you get when you went to get it repaired?
No, I haven't gotten it repaired yet because it was only on Monday. I went to put the case in my pocket. And you know how sometimes you go to put in your pocket, but it turns out the pants you're wearing aren't, like you don't have pockets on them, so it just falls. It was like that.
What? It just didn't have pockets. You just whacked yourself in the thigh and dropped it.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
That was it. And then it was this big bang, and the way, because they're just this small case, the case like opened, and the earpods, like one of them went underneath the lounge, and then one of them went onto like the other side of the house. And I'm like, oh, well, this is what this is, and then
just one of those days.
Happens to the best
Mondays,
of us, Steve. Don't worry
right?
about it. I realized in hindsight, I was so blasé about the amount of sugar that I had, because I had that this evening, by the way, for those listening. That was me about 2 hours ago, so my perception of time is, I think it's like 2 hours ahead of you guys now. That's crazy. But I realized that in that warped perception of time, didn't even introduce. Saif and Steve say hi 4 minutes in.
Hey everyone.
Boom.
Hope you
nailed it.
enjoyed the Krispy Kreme talk.
We need no introduction. You know why we're here.
That's true.
But-
That's true. We are the Krispy Kreme boys.
By the way,
Okay,
Patrick,
okay.
I just want you to know that your perception of time is actually about 2.5 hours ahead. We actually started recording on time. You're just that delayed now.
Ooh, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to go back through my read receipts. There's just like a 30-minute span of time where I swear we weren't doing anything because we were waiting for someone to be ready to record. But maybe I was just sending memes to people. I probably was. I might be sending memes to people now. I'm only gonna find out about this tomorrow. Anyway, might as well go into Round the Lounge. Steve, what have you been up to this week?
I played the DLC for The Last of Us, Left Behind, I believe it is called.
Yep.
And last week I got gifted for my birthday a game that no one's really heard about, called Elden Ring. So I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's like released. I don't think anybody's played it, so I think we've got the exclusive hookup on this podcast.
Ooh, that'd be exciting.
Yeah, it's
So,
kind of a niche game.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody likes it. But yeah, I've played a couple of hours of that. Yeah, just dropping headphones and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Normal Steven
been a
behavior.
real eventful week, huh? Cool. Seth, what about you?
I finished Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright, and I have some positive words about that when I get to it later.
Anything
What a
else?
meager review. Positive words, eh?
Yeah. The game was shit, but I used some positive words in the review, so
Look, it's
in the title.
It's all about the positivity here. We're not going for the negativity this week. It's all uphill from here.
we will see how long that lasts.
But yeah, no, it's just Phoenix Wright this week.
Yeah, fair enough.
What about Phoenix Wrong?
Ooh,
That would
I
be
should have saved it. That
good
was
question.
That was
Is that
such
the
a
DLC?
bit. Yeah, it was a better segue I could have made.
no. See, that's he's actually right all the time. So they had to go a different way and say that his opponent is edgy.
So
What about you, Pat? What have you been up to
so
this week?
he's going to get cancelled. What have I been up to this week? I saw. Well, I finally caught up on all of Ted Lasso on Apple Plus. That was cool. Liked bits of it. Didn't like others. Don't know if we'll talk about it or not. Finished Superstore, which people laud as like in the same realm as Parks and Rec and The Office and other great American sitcoms. Don't know if we'll talk about that either. And the rest of it's been Tiny Tina's. For that post game that I'm pretty sure I said last week has a timer on it, and here I am still playing it. Don't know if we'll talk about that either because I don't really have a huge amount to add to that, but I'm sure we will find something to talk about anyway. But first, we'll probably save the Elden Ring chat because I'm assuming we will all have strong words on that. Shall we instead talk about Left Behind DLC? Steve?
Yeah, sure. So this takes place. So I finished The Last of Us. I believe I said that last week, and so then I played DLC Left Behind, and essentially that is a semi prequel and sort of explains how Ellie got bit, and plus a little side story of when she sort of rescues Joel after they're at the university, and Joel's been shot, and she needs to sort of heal him up.
Yeah,
type of
that's
thing.
right. Because there was a little time skip where he's been out for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and she's been looking after him.
Months, I think.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
forgot the DLC had a back and forth between like that season and also going back to when like I knew it was about when she got bit, but I forgot all about the parts where she's trying to help Joel.
Yeah. It is very short. I think I did it in like 3, maybe 4 hours.
Yo,
Yeah, that sounds
80%
about right.
speed
Like,
run. Let's go.
Yeah.
Zombie
There's
bite
not really
percent.
much else you could do. Yeah, it was very like I thought something else was going to happen, and that just ended. I'm like, oh, okay, and that's it then. Okay, all right. Like I literally finished it in like an afternoon.
The
expecting
main
to
game
lock myself
tells
in.
you exactly what happens in that already, so you know what it is. It's just seeing the events for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
yeah.
Right.
It's still interesting. It's sort of nice to sort of see Ellie explore the relationship with a friend or a first love. It wasn't clear to me. I thought it was like more of a friendship thing, but online people said, "Oh, if you read between the lines, they'd totally hook up." And I'm like, 14 or 15, like in living in a post-apocalyptic world. Like I
14-year-olds
don't-
14-year-olds took up all the time. With
Seth,
other
be very-
14-year-olds,
be-
I mean.
Yeah, Seth,
Alright.
be very careful with
Alright,
where that
alright, Seth.
sentence goes, my friend.
But yeah, like it's good. It's The Last of Us. It looks amazing. It tells a story quite well. I don't think I liked the jumping between before Ellie got bit and then while she's helping Joel, while the part like in the future, I guess it's more combat heavy because you've got to get through this sort of shopping center to find something that will like sort of fix Joel. While in the previous thing, they're exploring another different shopping mall, but they get the power to go working, so they can sort of light some things up and they can go through like music and costume shops and like sort of fuck around. So it's sort of good to see. There's a bit of sort of like a happy-go-lucky type of event, and it's very serious. Oh shit! If these people see me, I'm going to be killed.
Yeah.
I don't think I liked the jumping around. Like it's very sudden. I would have liked it if it was okay. Here's the prequel part, and here's the timeline part. It seems very disjointed.
I get why they did that, because they need to have a balance of like have some slower sections and have some more action segments. And
yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it's not all front loaded one way and then front loaded the other way. And also because they're telling these two separate areas, it's like a massive jump between going from the prequel part and then going to the winter part. So I get why they interspliced it like that, but it never works that well. I think they could have focused entirely on the prequel part and done more to try and make a mix between action and stealth and slow segments.
Yeah, I think going into it, because I sort of knew what I was getting into, but I think I semi-expected it would be like semi-flashback type of thing, like an hour and a half of like combat and then like half an hour of cutscene, which is essentially what it is. But I don't think they do it in a right way.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But at the same time, I enjoyed it. I'd probably if I bought it separately because I got it as part of the Last of Us PS4 edition, I think I'd be fucking quite jaded with it because it's very little replayability factor. I wouldn't have paid more than $10 for it.
I think I actually did buy that separate, and I got the PS4 version specifically separate. So I didn't even buy the PS4 remaster of The Last of Us. I just got that because, again, like I mentioned last week, once I finished the platinum for The Last of Us, I was really burnt out of that game. I didn't want to play it anymore. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to play the PS4 version of The Last of Us, but I want to check out the DLC, so I'll just buy that instead.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
What about you, Pat? You notice it. Have you played the DLC?
I'm pretty sure I have, but it has been a hot minute since I would have done that. The main thing that sticks out in my mind is that they go through like an arcade of some sort.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's one of the big.
So
I remember the arcade
it.
from the main game.
Shoot. I'm pretty sure I've played it. The arcade's the bit that sticks out the most.
No, there isn't. Yeah, there is an arcade section, and there's like one machine that works. And I thought you'd be able to play it, but you can't.
Drats.
Or unless I just missed the prompt.
you need the other controller to play it. You need the Microsoft Flight Simulator stick peripheral. It came with the Ultimate pre-order bundle, but you might have missed that. It's fine. You didn't miss too much.
It was a second screen experience with the PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, true.
Vita chats are winning again.
Are they?
Yeah,
how's that console going?
I don't remember a huge amount. Obviously, Last of Us 2 sticks out way more recently because I've just played that more recently. But yeah, I don't know that me not remembering, because I remember like major plot points of Last of Us 1. I don't think me not remembering it is like a strike against Left Behind DLC. I just think it just has been so long since I played it, and because it is still set in the same universe, if you gave me a plot synopsis, I'd be like, oh, that's right, yeah, I remember all that. But yeah, there's not a huge amount that sticks out. I would be curious, because I'm almost coming at this from a fresh perspective again. Last of Us makes a big deal about there being a difference in combat style between fighting humans versus fighting the infected. The Left Behind DLC, because it's split in terms of its focus between prequel and combat. I'm pretty sure Winter is more fighting humans, I think. But
yeah, Winter was very human-centric.
But is there a particular... Because like through Last of Us 1 and 2, they do quite a good mix of like, you're fighting people, you're fighting the infected. Do you think that the pacing of the Left Behind DLC was influenced by what it is that they made you do within it through the combat?
I don't think so, honestly. They did sort of different things. Like they introduce infected and then it's humans, and then they sort of throw both at you at the same time. Which is like, okay, I'll just throw a brick and just bring all the clickers out, and they'll attack the humans, and there's like one left. Like the sole survivor is like, all right, cool. We'll just shoot you in the head like twice and you're down. So I did like sort of pitting them against each other. It did sort of feel like it was a free-for-all type of thing. And if you weren't careful with what you're doing, you'd sort of get swarmed on all sides. I did like that. It did sort of allow for cheesing a couple of the areas pretty good. But realistically, it feels like you just get into it and then it's over. But yeah, it was semi-enjoyable. It was... Yeah, the only thing different it does is just introduce both factions, or both enemies at the same time.
Sure, yeah. Because you don't... I'm just going to be asking a bunch of dumb questions, as I say, because of how long it's been since I played it. You don't actually meet David, do you, when you're going through the Left Behind DLC?
No, you do not. No.
No, yeah, that's all in the main game.
Yeah, cool. That's what.
Yeah, it's all in the main game. You literally you don't meet any named characters that you don't either like kill or brutally maim.
and who can forget that iconic? It's a Twitch clip, right? Of the rabbit when it first goes
That's
to...
also in the main game.
No. I know. I'm not saying that's part of the DLC, but that's still like
okay.
a very memorable Twitch clip, right? Of like the first scene of Winter in Last of Us 1 with the woman looking at the rabbit, and then it gets just RKO'd out of nowhere by an arrow to the side of the head by Ellie.
Yeah, and you're like, oh boy, Ellie, what have you done? You brutal murderer.
Ellie got to eat. That's all I'll say. How long? So I'm sort of reaching for ideas here, but I don't know. Well,
look, we don't have to spend as much that much time on it. It's pretty slow. It doesn't really go for that long. It's okay. I'm glad I got it as part of the PS4 collection. But if I missed out, I wouldn't feel like you don't have to play this to enjoy The Last of Us. It's unless you're 100% into this world, you can miss it.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
Realistically, you can probably look at the cutscenes up on YouTube if you really sort of want to go.
Just watch your playthrough on 2x speed, like every like web tutorial ever.
Well, then it would like take half the time. So you're dreaming.
True. Yeah, get it done in 45 minutes. Easy.
We were mentioning last week how like seeing something on YouTube might be a lesser experience, but I actually think that this DLC would probably be the same either way.
True.
It would be the same. Yeah.
No, that's cool. Yeah, probably a good place to leave it then. Still looking forward to you playing through Last of Us 2, which you'll have to get to at some point.
I did.
Oh, you just started?
I did start that up.
Oh.
I played like the first 45 minutes. Holy shit, I thought my fucking PS4 was going to explode. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. I can hear it through my headphones as well, so I have to turn my headphones up.
Doesn't it just add to the immersion, though? You can't hear what's sneaking up behind you?
At first, I thought it was like an engine or something in the background of the cutscene. I'm like, what the fuck is this sound?
It's the truck that you have to use strength on to get it to move it to get Mew.
Oh, of course. After you surf.
Yeah, after you surf, of course. I'm not an idiot. So 45 minutes. So for me, I played through Last of Us 2 very, very cautiously. At least for the first like in playtime hours, the first couple hours, but realistically was probably only the first like hour or two. I just played it way too slowly. I don't even know why. I think I just had this idea of what running back through it might have been from playing Last of Us 1 on a higher difficulty. I was just expecting more shit to happen, so I was just taking everything really cautiously. So where did you get to in 45 minutes?
I just started playing as that other character. I don't know her name yet. I just did like all the first bit of the Ellie scene and the snowball fight with those fuckwit kids.
Oh, okay, so you just started playing as Abby. Yeah.
I don't know her name, so spoiler alert. I'm not very Abby about that one, eh?
Hey, all right, so we've stopped talking about Last of Us 2 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much,
You've lost your Last of Us.
I wasn't even going to bring
Steve.
it up, but Yeah, I wasn't going to bring it up, but you said it, and I just wanted to make the comment about my PlayStation exploding. So if I'm not here next week, you know what happened.
It's the cursed rice cooker, conspiring with your PlayStation exhaust system to just kill you. Fair enough. Saif, tell us all about Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Long story short, before I get into it, is that Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney is such a good game that now I want to go and become a Phoenix Wright main in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because that's how much I enjoyed this game. So that's the too long didn't read version of this. So basically it's just a visual novel. Okay, to get started, I started this up because I needed something as a lighter game to play, because I've just played Elden Ring and Stranger of Paradise back to back, and those are two like extremely difficult games.
Yeah,
so I needed something.
And God forbid the Gen 5 Pokemon playthrough you're going through also just starts taxing you mentally, right? We've all been there.
Yeah, no, Gen 5 is such a difficult game, like, oof. But so I just needed something light so that I could just kind of relax to and just kind of slowly chew through and enjoy. And that was a really good call, because a visual novel style game is great for that sort of thing. And this is basically just like a visual novel / point and click adventure style game, where it's broken up into two different scenarios. You got investigations where you go around, you talk to the characters, learn about them, find out what happened in these murder scenarios, because every single one of these is a murder case. Yeah, you just look for evidence and just kind of piece together what's going on, but not really. You just kind of like get a grasp of the area and who the characters are and what their motives might be.
Well, what are their
motives? Then trying to frame people.
Don't spoil it.
I won't spoil anything, but it's like everyone has like their own reasons for lying in their testimonies, which is what's going to be coming up next is the courtroom parts, which is where you actually start piecing together all of the case and everything. So you'll always get a witness to come up and they'll give their testimony, and that's when you got to start kind of cross-examining them, questioning them on all their lines, and bringing up evidence to show contradictions where there are any. And that just keeps playing out, and it gets more hilarious as it goes on. The scenarios get a lot better as it goes on. Things get really out of hand in the later half of the game. It's fantastic stuff.
I mean, in the latter half of the game, you're talking about people lying on testimony. That's perjury, isn't it? Isn't that like actually just a crime? Does that mean that Phoenix Wright just gets like a 2-for-1 slam dunkaroo when he's in the courtroom? He's like, this person killed that person and this person lied about it. They should both go to prison forever.
Kind of. Some of them are lying, but there's other ones that are like, they contradict themselves or they leave details out. So it's like, oh, I forgot about that, so let me add that to my testimony, and then they add that, and then you got to cross-examine them more and point out even more lies that they're doing or more contradictions they're doing. So as it keeps going on, that's when things keep happening. So not to spoil a lot, but there's one of them where there's this security lady that's convinced someone's done the murder because they saw the character they play as on a TV show's costume go past the security cameras, and only that person is big enough to wear the costume, and they were limping. So she's absolutely convinced that he was a murderer, and you've got to try and figure out why it's not him and how, like, she's telling her truth, but it's wrong, sort of thing.
Right. So, like, when she's up on the witness stand and you're Phoenix Wright and you're like, what's your favorite podcast? And she doesn't say Fast Travel Lounge. You're like, well,
yeah,
that's a contradiction.
Then she gets sent to jail for that one.
Yeah. Or Steve gets up and
what's the best
Phoenix Wright and Phoenix Wright asks, what's your favorite Krispy Kreme $10.90 shake donut combo? And he says something that isn't a strawberry shake. Then he also goes straight to prison, right?
Yes.
Fuck, would I say strawberry shake's the lowest tier of shake?
Go to jail. Go to jail right now. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go.
Have a fruit drink, baby boy. Have a fruit drink.
That is not vanilla or banana. strawberry
Vanilla,
is...
bro, just drink milk.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
All right. Steve. We can put aside our differences
We've
here,
gotta
right?
unite.
We can both
Yeah, we
dunk
can.
on vanilla drinkers, right?
That's literally fucking milk.
I love it when a milkshake just tastes like the thing that I can get bottled essence of. It's great. I love it. Or even worse, when the French claim that it's different when they do it. French vanilla. What the fuck is that?
vanilla
Look,
malt.
this goes right out of my... Vanilla malt is good, I'll give you that. That's different, but it's got malt in it.
That's just malt with essence of vanilla, though. You buy that for the malt.
Now, for 10 more bonus points, what's malt?
It's like
I don't know.
Walt,
This isn't
but it's
rhetorical.
set to M for Mumbo rather than W for Wumbo.
It's upside down.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, anyway, back into Phoenix Wright.
Yeah,
Is this that?
I was just waiting
The
for you
real
guys to
reason
finish
we-
at that point.
Is this that remastered trilogy they brought out?
Yeah. I've been playing it on Steam through the remastered trilogy, so I'll be going through all 3 games, but I just recently finished the first one.
Yeah, because I got picked up for the Xbox a while ago. So yeah, no, if you're saying it's good, that's good.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. All the characters are really great in it. It's got really hilarious writing. It gets off the wall very frequently. The writing was so...
I vaguely have a...
Oh, you go on.
I know, I think you're about to say what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Is there weird localization changes they had to do, though?
Yes, they didn't have to do them,
Yeah,
but there are weird localization changes. Like, for some reason, they decided to set the games in LA instead of Japan. So, so instead of sushi, people's favorite food is hamburgers.
Right.
Classic.
There's some
Eat your hamburgers.
there's some name changes, but that's more like the name works as a pun in Japanese, but not in English. So let's kind of change it to make a pun that works in English.
Well, that's it. Like Phoenix Wright, like it's like because he's right, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
it's a similar sort of pun in Japanese from what I.
I think his Japanese name is Naruhodo, which is something like correct or investigator or something like that.
You're telling me that Phoenix Wright
cool.
isn't related to Will and Orville Wright, the creators of the plane?
Unfortunately not.
Fuck, that would have been such a good, like, family history, you know? Like, your uncle created the plane, and your other uncle just, like, figures out when
Yeah,
people
uncle.
are
How
lying.
old is this guy?
yeah, your other uncle. Phoenix Wright, he's timeless, bro. He's timeless.
But yeah, there's another guy, his name is Larry Butts, and there's a character that keeps calling him Harry Butts, and they make a joke every now and then, like, if something stinks and it's the butts.
Nice. That's like
That's funny.
Asshole quality from Spaceballs. You know, who's in charge around here? That'll be me, sir. Like, who is he? He's an asshole, sir. He's a major asshole. What a film. Right. So how have you finished the first one, or like you almost finished the first one, or where are you up to with it?
So last week I had almost finished it. I had done the first 4 cases, which was the end where the Game Boy Advance version ends, and I still had case 5 left to do, which is the new case they introduced for the DS version of the game. And that's where you get a bunch of stuff where you can like kind of interact with the clues more heavily and use all the features of the DS. So they've had to change it for the PC version, obviously, but you'd have stuff like tapping the screen to put down fingerprint dust and then blow into the microphone to blow it all away to find the fingerprints on a case.
Hey, to anyone listening, don't listen to him. You can absolutely still disperse fingerprint dust by tapping your PC screen. Trust me.
What if you got it on like Switch or something?
I'm not sure how the Switch version would go, actually. I imagine there's some weird things they would have done with the PlayStation 4 version as well, with the touchpad and the microphone on that.
They probably did nothing. They probably did nothing of the sort and was like, "Nah, here was what you get."
Maybe.
Press the button.
Yeah, maybe.
Because then what do us ex-bros get? Or
Absolutely nothing like you
Unless-
deserve.
True.
You get Game Pass.
open your fridge. Yeah, we get Game Pass, right? All right, we're already winning. Sorry,
Yeah.
good point.
You got Game Pass, be happy with that.
Oh boy, I am.
But yeah, case 5 was also the longest case in the game by a large mile. So as it was progressing, the cases were getting slowly longer and longer. So case 1 was just a tutorial courtroom battle. Case 2 was a fairly chunky investigate and courtroom battle. but then case three starts extending it out to you got so the way that the justice system works in the game, and I'm not 100% sure how much it's stripping from the Japanese legal system, because I know it is made based around that somewhat, but not 100%. But in Phoenix Wright, you have 3 days to settle a case. So case 3 was the first time that they start pushing it to you're at day 3, everything has to end today. And then case 4 was also the same thing, where they pushed it to the 3rd day, but it was a much more involved and longer case. And then case 5 was kind of the length of case 3 and 4 combined, really. So it was more than the length of half the original game in that one case.
Interesting. So
Cool.
again, didn't really answer the question, but have you finished it or not?
Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah, okay, cool. What were you saying, Steve?
I thought I said that earlier. But last week I had finished up to the end of the GBA version, and then
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like you said that twice now. So you're like, I've finished up to the end of the GBA version. Like, right? So have you finished it?
He's finished one of the 3 games.
I must have thought I said I finished up to the end of the DS version as well. I just mustn't have said it out loud.
Or alternatively, it's my warped perception of time from the amazing $10.90 deal of a shake and 2 Krispy Kreme donuts.
It might be you're on the sugar crash, big fella. Quick. Get that man
Get another one. we got to keep the sugar train
we'll
going.
Wait for you.
Just go get a tablespoon of sugar.
Yeah. Sherbet, IV drip. Let's go. What were you going to ask, Steve?
I was just going to ask if the cases are interesting.
Yeah, they're all interesting. So some of them are they all go around really interesting topics, and I don't know how much I want to say in case people want to go and play them, but all of them are murder cases. So that part is always consistent. It's just the way they get around the murder case and the scenarios for them are what makes them interesting.
Like in the you got murdered online because you took the L plus ratio plus maidenless, or you're actually
plus
just
touch
dead?
grace?
No, someone just killed you with blunt force trauma murder.
As in, I'm laughing, crying, I'm literally dead right now. Internet funny haha meme, or
no, you're on the ground bleeding
from laughter.
Your heart has stopped beating.
More seriously, is there replayability in games like this, or is it like you go through the case once and you've seen all there is to see kind of thing?
I feel like you've seen all there is to see. There is a kind of a alternate ending where you got to present the right thing at the end of the chapter to get the right piece of dialogue. But there's also a chapter select in this version of the game, so you can easily just go back and do that.
So you could actually just go. You go for bad ending.
Yeah, you can go for bad ending or good ending.
Nice.
But there's not much of a difference between them. It's just a couple of extra lines of dialogue if you do the good ending.
I thought it would be like you walk into the courtroom and just openly accuse the judge of being the one that murdered the guy.
No, that hasn't happened.
Yet.
Yes, yet.
No, it's cool.
The way the games have been playing, yeah, that could happen, honestly.
Phoenix Wright was the murderer the whole time. Any other closing thoughts, or review the first of the 3 games? Tell people where they can get it.
Close this case.
Yeah, boom. Like Steve said, close the case.
Close the case. So I started this off by saying that Ace Attorney was so good that when I finished the 3rd case, I was like, I'm going to go and become a Phoenix Wright main on Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
True.
Also, when I finished the 3rd case, I went onto Steam and looked at how much the Great Ace Attorney cost, and I was like, it's $60. I just paid my car registration, so I can't do it this week, but I will absolutely do it on my next paycheck, and I'm going to buy more of the Ace Attorney games just based on how good this first one was.
Whoa, that's
$60 for a novel,
endorsement.
I'm not sure how much...
Visual novels games?
Yes. You have to interact with the novel in some capacity, so it is a video game.
Does that mean that you're not willing to pay more than $35 for it, Steve? Because it wouldn't be anime?
There's no way to pay $35 for a visual novel.
That was
Let's
that
leave that
attitude.
comment there. Are you interacting with a book if it's on your computer and you got to click the button to turn the page?
Yes.
That makes
So-
an online book a video game.
So, looking on Steam right now.
Am I playing video games while I'm working? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. Anything to
Fuck.
help you with getting through the workday. Looking on Steam right now, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy is $40 for all 3 of the original games, or $84 if you buy that and the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles alongside it. So you get 5 games for $84.
That's pretty good. That's like
That's
what,
not bad.
$15 a game.
That's like slightly more than Dragon Ball Z: The Breakers.
Slightly, but I'd be willing to pay that extra $4.
That might be the greatest endorsement for a game that you've ever done on Fast Travel Lounge, Seth.
I'm glad. They deserve it.
Fair enough. So out of 10, I figure like we can probably ballpark what this one's going to be, but let us hear it.
Like a 9 out of 10. I can see room for improvement, and I want to give that extra point.
Oh shit, 9 out of 10. What the
I want to give that extra point just in case Ace Attorney 2 or 3 are better than this one. I will come back and change this to a 10 if the others are worse.
Fair
perfect
enough.
game. Would this okay, it doesn't matter. I'm just
Do you have a sweet like lawyer ending statement to finish it off, or like, you know, if you can't think of one will be provided to you?
I would like the courts to
Objection.
provide one for me.
The defense
Overruled.
rests. Wait, what? You can't
you
say
got your
that.
objection. Are you the judge, Pat?
I'm trying to be. Let me get order in this courtroom so we can move on. Thank you for that, Seth. Back to Steve. Elden Ring. That little indie game from Software. Tell us about it. You been enjoying it? What have you been
I
up
hate
to?
it. It's a fucking piece of shit game. I'm sick and tired of dying. It's fucking bullshit. I hate it. Fucking hate it. Now that I've gotten that out of my system. It's actually really good. I'm really enjoying it. I was playing it just before this, and I was getting a bit filtered. But it's maybe I'm coming to it from a very different perspective. I'm hearing everybody talk about it. It's been like 6 weeks since it came out, and I've played Dark Souls 1 quite recently as well. It is exactly what I thought it was going to be, if that makes sense. It's essentially open world Dark Souls.
Is that like
Yeah.
a compliment
sure.
or an insult? Like, what do you have to expand on that a bit?
No, maybe because I knew, because from what you guys have said and from the other discussion I've seen online, I wasn't really surprised with the environments or sort of like the enemy combinations or how the world is structured.
Yeah,
Or how it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
also true.
Yeah, so I'll admit I'm only about probably 7 or 8 hours into it, and probably a good 3 hours of that is me just throwing myself at the same enemies and dying and fucking losing all my rune.
Which ones?
But isn't that just a Souls experience?
That's true. That's true.
It is, but maybe because it's an open world, I think, oh shit, I have to go this way because that's where the grace is telling me to, and that Stormvale fucking castle. So I spent like 45 minutes trying to get through that. And I'm like, I'm literally dying in like 2 hits to everything. What's going on? And I look it up and it's like, okay, what's the level requirement? Oh, between 30 to 40. Okay, what level am I? 22. Okay, fucking sick.
Yeah, they
And I'm still
expect you
using
to
my-
explore around the area more before
Yeah.
going straight to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's because there were certain areas of them like I didn't have like the map area for. So I thought, maybe rightly or wrongly, whatever, that I maybe not that I couldn't go there, but that I shouldn't go to other areas on the map if I don't have that section of the map. I have since learned that is wrong because I did a bit of exploring and I found the map piece for the area I was in. So I'm like, okay, maybe I won't do that. And I've met a couple of NPCs and I'll be doing their quests and all that type of thing. The combat's a lot faster than like Dark Souls. Enemies do fucking weird bullshit things, like they'll hold their action in the air for like half a second and that
Yeah.
Yeah, they
That
do
fucks
that a
me up
lot
something.
too.
Yeah.
That breaks your parry mindset a lot.
Well, I can't parry because I'm too shit. Plus, I've got like dual swords, so I don't even have the option.
Oh, did you pick Samurai?
But literally, nah, warrior. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, warrior. Warrior's got 2 swords. I think samurai's got 2 swords as well. 2 swords and a bow. I'm really enjoying it, but yeah, that's fucking. And sometimes I do that bullshit anime 16 hit combos. Okay, cool. I've miscounted. I've got hit. I'm dead.
Yeah. Is it my turn to
Yeah,
hit
it's-
yet?
it's
No.
good. Yeah, pretty much. And like sometimes I'll do like a weird faint thing, and I'm like, oh shit! Now I have to wait for him to do his finish his action.
Or like you
But
said
it's
with
pretty
the
good.
pause thing, but they jump into the air and pause in the air before coming crashing down.
That's horseshit. That's fucking horseshit. Oh, like that first real boss, Margaret or whatever it's called. He does it so much, and it always throws my timing off. But look, I beat him.
Is that the giant hammer slam thing?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Weirdly,
And sometimes he holds it, sometimes he doesn't.
yeah, I never had an issue with the overhead slams. I was always able to read those, but God punished me for my hubris by making me physically incapable of dodging any swing that he did, like, on the ground left to right. So anytime he jumped in the air, I was golden. I could roll at any time and I'd be fine. But he doesn't do that all the time. He does the left-right swipes a lot more. So it was weird. Like, I had one of our mutual friends watching me fight Margaret a couple times, and he just couldn't understand how it was that I was dodging every attack that was coming from the air, but just absolutely failing to just dodge the most simple attacks on the ground.
The one that always got me was when he throws the magical daggers. I could not dodge those or block those to save my life.
Mm.
Oh, I was never in that range for him, because I hadn't gotten like a staff to cast spells yet. I've got one now, and it's all right.
By the way, did you summon the NPC next to the boss door?
Bullshit.
Roger.
Of course I did. What the fuck? Yeah. I probably didn't need him, but well, like I probably did need him. I'll be quite honest with you. Like, it just would've
Better
taken a bit longer.
to have him and not need him than need him and not have him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like he's there. Like, and people that say you didn't really beat the boss if you summon the NPC, now get the fuck out of here.
Can you
Fuck
imagine
off,
how
the game
bored-
gave me
It's
these
just-
tools, I will
Yeah.
use these tools.
Yeah.
How bored would the
Yeah.
NPC be? He's just sitting there, just waiting for you to ring the bell to summon him. That's his entire life's purpose. And you're just gonna walk up, you're gonna look him in the eye and go, "No, stay in your doorway, gateway thing, whatever the hell he comes through."
Stay in the cuckstone.
Cuxt.
Oh, Jesus.
I have issues with with like calling it that, but I guess that is basically what it is. Yeah.
You're not. Yeah, it's not wrong. Yeah. I'm still thinking I'm a bit.
It's right, but you're not
mo-
happy about it being right.
Moving the conversation along from that disgusting thought.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
still think I'm unsure about the crafting mechanics and how you can pick up a bunch of resources and stuff.
I don't think I've
Honestly,
ever
I
crafted-
stopped
Still
interacting with that after Stormveil.
Okay, you do.
Not even
Okay,
in Storm. I haven't crafted shit. I've played it for like 40
Yeah.
something hours at this point. I don't think I've ever opened that menu.
Yeah.
The only time I opened it after
it's
Stormveil was to make more of the co-op summons.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Oh, you can use that to make it. Oh, interesting. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into it because I haven't played that much, and over the long weekend I'll probably just put a shit ton amount of hours into it. And then next week I'll be like, bro, this is the best game ever. Rick Steven, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And because
What's
look, the amount of
what's the favorite thing you've done in Elden Ring so far? Just like any moment that sticks out in your mind was like that was like cool, that was really awesome. Just like top moment.
using the horse to like sort of joust another guy on a horse is pretty cool.
Interesting. Seth, you also loved the horse
perf-
combat, didn't you? Was that also
It
your
was-
favorite moment?
It was fantastic. I don't
Yeah.
know. It was such a great addition that wasn't clunky and weighty at all.
You're being ironic. I think I was considering absolute dog shit horse combat, and it's like not that. I'm pleasantly surprised.
It's not absolute dog shit, but I don't think it's that great either.
It was good because when there was someone else, the moment that specifically, try saying that 10 times fast, that I'm thinking of was like there was this other guy on a horse, and I charged up my my special attack, and I hit him like right at the right time, and then he fell off his horse, and I jumped off and I stabbed him, and it felt pretty good.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal in
Yeah,
jousting.
it's well, we weren't jousting. It's Elden Ring, baby. But
There
yeah, I'm
are no
enjoying it.
rules.
I'll have more thoughts. I'll have more thoughts about it next week.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but it's supposed to rain over the long weekend, so I won't feel good staying inside in my dressing gown and playing video.
Favorite boss design? Final question. So far, obviously, you haven't seen
Oh,
that many at all.
I've only seen
but-
a couple.
I mean, you must have fought more than Margaret,
There was
right?
yeah, no, of course. Oh yeah, I had to level up for Margaret. There was a weird lion dog thing. That was
Yep.
pretty
Oh,
cool.
the cat statue?
Down to the south.
Yeah, that was alright. There was also that weird NPC Patches. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to kill him, and he's like,
Wait,
did
did you
you
kill him?
Did you kill him?
Yeah, I did. Was I not supposed to? Oh shit!
I feel like
Well,
I'm
he's,
the
like,
only
begging for his
person I know
life.
that didn't kill him.
I didn't kill him. You see,
Oh, you didn't kill him either? Nice.
Well, I mean, I see a name like Patches, and I think, we are brethren.
Well, there was in Dark Souls 1. There's a bad guy called Patches that literally kicks you into a fucking hole. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. So I knew he was gonna fuck me around, and literally, like, he was like sort of wrecking my shit for a bit to the point I had like no flask left, and then I got like 3 or 4 good hits, and like I was taking off like very good pieces of his health, and he's like, no, don't kill me, when? And I'm like, all right, cool, see you later, big fella.
If you don't kill him, he becomes a shop vendor, and he's also kind of involved with another side quest, but not to an important degree. And also, he shows up in another boss fight and is very funny in that.
You might just want to restart the game,
next
honestly,
playthrough.
Steve.
I'm not going to. Does it really matter?
No, killing Patches or keeping him alive doesn't matter, but you made the wrong choice.
Yeah, you've definitely got the bad ending secured.
So what would I have to have done? Like, he was like begging for help. What I was supposed to just walk out?
You just stop hitting Kim.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's literally it.
I'll be honest, I don't think it takes Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, to figure out, hey, the guy's begging for his life. How do I not kill this man?
My hands are just moved by themselves. They're too far.
Definitely doesn't seem like something that would take a huge amount of effort to figure out, I'll be honest. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I see someone begging for their life, and I think I'm probably not going to end this man's life today. And good ending secured. So, I guess we're just built different. That's fine. Yeah. Any other final thoughts?
One more thing.
Yeah. Go on.
Only one final question. There's no way to sort of like track the quests you get or anything, is there? There's no like quest log or anything.
No, but you can see the NPCs on the map now. So. Yeah. When they move around, you'll be able to track that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, back in our day, 6 weeks ago, you couldn't do that.
I wasn't sure if there was something.
Honestly, if you use the map to track NPCs, then you didn't play the game right.
Surely it's been more than 6 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
it?
I hope so. God, time is meaningless. Doesn't really matter, but 6 weeks feels like way too short for how much I know other people have played that game. So I'm still yet to finish it.
The 25th of February was when it came out, which is pretty much exactly 6 weeks.
Wow, 6 weeks. That's absolutely crazy.
Lucky guess, Stephen.
Yeah. Everybody gets one, I guess. Tell him, Peter. Anyway, thank you for that, Steve. I don't really. That's the end of the Round the Lounge list.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about, Patrick?
I mean, we're at 50 minutes. I guess I'll give my gut punch review for Ted Lasso. Season 1, excellent. Season 2, first half, excellent. Second half, I didn't enjoy that much at all, really. But
that sounds like every Marvel Netflix show review.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I know lots of people really enjoy season 2, but I really enjoyed the first half of it. Like, I understand why people enjoyed it. It just wasn't for me. It's not even that it went downhill. It just went in directions that I didn't really care about or value too highly compared to other people. So definitely watch season 1. Obviously only available on Apple Plus. Because it is funny knowing that there's funding from Apple Plus. They use a lot of shots of just a camera on an iPhone typing to someone else.
Yeah.
Really? Jesus.
I remember that Apple has this policy where you're not allowed to show Android phones in their shows either. It all has to be iPhones.
It's amazing that in a show with a lot of people like messaging and phoning each other, all of them are iPhone users. It's crazy. And
everyone uses a MacBook.
Yeah.
Uni and all that kind of stuff.
There's a moment in, actually, I don't remember if it's season 1 or season 2. There's a moment where someone says, we've taken the next step in our relationship. We're sharing an iCloud account, and it's like, man, why don't you just run an ad for some Apple product? Like, it would be the same at this point. Weirdly, it doesn't actually take away from the show. It's just funny to notice it because it props up. Like, they do it tastefully in the show. It's just funny to notice it. yeah, that's my very quick Ted Lasso review, I guess.
Yeah. I haven't seen it.
I do
Will
have
I see it? Who knows?
I do have a weird complaint. The actress that plays Rebecca, wait, I just need to look this up. I really should have had this prepared. I need to just double check that it is Rebecca, the football manager. She plays as like the antagonist in season 1. Yeah. Where are we here? Yeah, Rebecca Weldon. Sweet. I did get it right. The actress that plays Rebecca in Ted Lasso, who is the antagonist in season 1, turning into just kind of like part of the ensemble cast / not protagonist, but just, yeah, good person in season 2. Actress name is Hannah Waddingham. Hopefully she's okay with me just doxing her name like that on podcasts as popular as ours. I'm
sure she'll survive.
It completely breaks my immersion when someone who I picture to be a middle-aged football manager is also like a god tier singer. It's just like it's amazing, but it's also annoying. Does that make sense? Like there are scenes where it's like, and we need her to sing, and it'll be like her at a karaoke bar, or there's like a Christmas episode where she goes caroling, and it's like there is something so unbelievable about you not only playing a wealthy, successful, middle-aged woman managing a football club, but you also, if all of that was taken away from you, could easily make a living just being a god-tier singer. Like, pick one.
Absolutely not. They will be amazing at multiple things that you will never master in your life.
Exactly, and I will absolutely despise people for that. Anyway, yeah, that's my real quick Ted Lasso review. I don't really.
Would you recommend it to other people?
That's what I say. Yeah, absolutely. Season 1, at least, absolutely. Season 2, first half, definitely. Second half, if you find yourself starting to not enjoy it, just stop. you can figure out pretty quickly from halfway through how the plot lines are going to go, and there isn't anything that's too surprising. I don't think. I didn't see any. I didn't get any big twists. Yeah, would recommend. Real big roundabout way of saying that. That does take us to end of Around the Lounge for this week. Thank you to Saif and Steve for sharing. Thank you to Josh for listening. Normally he won't shut up, so it's nice when he can just sit quietly and listen for once. That does bring us now to part 2 of the episode, which is, of course, the news. And first up this week, we have an article from Kotaku talking about how Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is on track to be the biggest video game movie ever, which, that's a shock to me. I thought that was still held by Pixels.
Pixels
Shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. I haven't even seen Pixels and I know it's shit.
And Pixels is in a league of its own.
It's true. It's the S tier of video game movies. Understandable, really. No, it's cool that a lesser movie like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is getting some traction, though.
Yeah,
to be fair, it's
well, I mean, it's competing with Morbius, so I mean, it's not hard.
Tough competition.
Yeah, the two blockbusters like that going head to head, one of them had to take the fall.
It did.
Unfortunate that it was Morbius.
It was such a tough. It was such a hard fought fight. But you know, a small blue hedgehog beats Jared Leto. Who knew?
Yeah. Opening weekend in the US, it made $71 million, and overseas at around like their same weekends openings was an additional $141 million. Apparently the biggest launch for a video game movie, and is on track to take the record for the best performing one. Funnily enough, the last title was held by Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
Do we have the budget for Sonic the Hedgehog 2? I'm not seeing it in this article.
I don't think so. Probably not yet. We might get the budget for it later.
I wouldn't expect it to be I would be very surprised if it was more than, say, 50 million. So, you know, that's already pretty good in terms of the return. I'm sure it's probably a lot cheaper than that, but, you know, like, worst case, I imagine would be 50. But yeah, sick to see it do well.
Yeah, I went and saw this last week. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm glad it's doing this well. And Paramount's had high hopes for these movies because they already greenlit a third movie and a Paramount Plus TV show based on Knuckles. So they're doing something right with this little blue hedgehog.
And all because we managed to bully the studio to to remove his human teeth.
Bully rich people. That is a lesson here.
So I'm looking on the Wikipedia page. The budget for this movie was between $90 and $110 million.
I take that back. Holy shit.
Yeah, so a bit, not as much profit, but they're still hand over fist.
Man. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
it almost made that in one weekend from the US alone, which is pretty good.
I mean, again, it's no pixels, but no, I'm gonna be. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the Hedgehog 3, just because Jim Carrey's discussing retirement now, and you know, are we just gonna like Johnny Depp him partway through a trilogy? I guess we'd have to, but
no, they already said that if he does go through with retirement, they're not going to replace him. They'll
just get rid of Eggman.
Yeah, they'll just let
Eggman dies off screen.
Eggman's gone to his home planet. Well, don't forget
Eggman goes to a farm.
Yeah, the farm upstate. But don't forget this year, we have one of the greatest actors of our time performing a most loved video game character. So we will soon be in the Sonic and Mario and the Olympic Games verse.
That's true. We'll actually get a movie crossover. That's amazing. I also realized we've now spent 4 minutes talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which, excellent meme, but we should probably move on. Next up, Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, wait, shit, wrong one. No, I'm kidding. Next up, we have Nintendo buying a studio, but the studio is a land.
Yeah, they bought the building across the road from their main building.
Which is funny because you could technically say that they acquired a studio.
Yeah.
Technically not wrong.
Yeah, not wrong, not right, but definitely not wrong.
Okay, calm down, Steve.
Basically, they're doing this to just expand their R&D and their capital investments projects. So basically, they needed a second building to make the Switch 2.
Yeah, because, with one, they can only do like one or the other of the Joy-Cons, but with two buildings, you can get a left and right Joy-Con, so it makes sense, really.
And they'll both still drift.
Yeah, I was going to say, the buildings will drift.
And
excellent.
And the cherry on top of this, they're going to call the building Corporate Headquarters Development Center Building Number 2.
Beautiful.
Man,
Can't
how
wait
can
to
a
put that on a postcard.
game like Nintendo, the game company like Nintendo, that has such good names for their consoles, like the Wii and the Wii U and the new 3DS XL. Just don't know the naming convention.
Yeah, it doesn't even have the word "new" in the building name. What are they supposed to do with that? Oh well, hope it works out for them. I don't think there's much more that we can really add to that. Thanks to Kotaku for that article. Next up on the list, we have Vicarious Visions doing one last hurrah via Twitter.
Yeah, pour one out for Vicarious Visions. They're fully merged with Blizzard Entertainment now. I believe their new name is Blizzard Albany, because that's where their development studio is based out of. Yeah, they're just going to be sent to the Blizzard mines now. No more revivals or projects that they care about.
And they'll be going to the Xbox.
For over 30 years, Vicarious Visions has made hundreds of exciting games, and we are proud to be able to do so for the passionate fans of Blizzard Entertainment.
Yep. As someone on Twitter rightly said, thanks for crashing. Yeah, Twitter Anon, thank you for saying this. Thanks for crashing Tony Hawk. Y'all deserve better.
Well, they're being absorbed into Xbox and Microsoft, so I've got good hopes for them.
They'd still be under whatever Blizzard decides to do.
Hopefully,
and I get the feeling Xbox will probably
hopefully
be
they can go
roam
roam free on the in the great farm with all the other studios that EA's taken up back and acquired.
Blizzard is the Activision brand, it's not EA.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit.
I'm not mincing words.
Gonna go the old way of Lionhead or Maxis.
Yeah. Or Pandemic, or yeah.
Ooh,
so
Pandemic,
many.
you say?
Yeah. Shout out to Pandemic fans. not the current
all three,
one.
All three of you.
Yeah. The
Radical Entertainment.
The Pandemic 2019 reboot. Not a good time. Wrong Pandemic. Anyway. Next up on the list, we have
a big win for me.
Yeah, you want to give us the title?
Yeah, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is getting rollback netcode on PS4 and PC on April 14. I don't know
As
what
our
else I can
resident
say.
rollback netcode expert, how do you feel about this?
Very excited. More games with rollback is a good thing. Unfortunate that they're not adding it to the Switch version though. I'm not sure why they're not doing it
Fuck
for the
Switch.
Switch version. Yeah,
Switch-
basically.
well, to do that properly, they need an entire other building at Nintendo just to figure out rollback netcode for the Switch. So, I mean, understandable.
Nintendo needs to figure out the netcode in general.
Also true.
But yeah, they've been doing a beta test for rollback since February on the PC version. So the beta test will end on April 13, and it'll officially be put into PlayStation 4 and PC the day after. So good news.
Exciting times. Yep. Any other comments you want to make on that?
No, just very happy that that's happening.
Fair enough. Next up, I actually do not know whether I'm happy or not about this, but we have an article from Kotaku again, talking about more PlayStation console exclusive games going to Xbox. The main driver of this, of course, being Bugsnax, the game that everyone lauds as the greatest reason to buy a PS5 since sliced bread.
Bugsnax is both horrifying and magnificent. The more people to play it, the better.
That's kind of my de facto position on this, yeah.
It's also leaving the Epic Game Store and going to Steam on PC. So more people will end up playing it on PC. It's finally getting its release date there.
Yeah.
Everybody's
so
winning.
what you mean is people will
winning.
now play it on PC?
Yeah, that didn't pirate it.
Yeah, it's coming to Game Pass as well, which means I'll get it for free. I've heard
How-
good things about it.
How are they
mean,
making
how?
money on this game? They keep giving it away for free.
Look, I think they just want people to play it.
But at what points do they go, we need to put dinner on the table for our developers. We need to keep the doors and lights open at the studio.
This game just doesn't make sense. Like, from any way you slice it, I don't understand how this game works.
Yeah,
and of course it's coming to Switch, which means we finally have a Pokemon Arceus killer.
Yeah. It looks better than Arceus graphically.
I know, that's the worst part of all of this.
We haven't seen the Switch version run yet. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not forget about Kingdom Hearts being streamed onto the Switch. Let's not...
I mean, it still looks better, but it doesn't play well. It doesn't play at all.
From one gamer to another, does Bugsnax have voice acting?
Yes, it does.
Oh, God fucking damn it.
It even has Rita Repulsa from the Power Rangers series.
Actually, the Arceus killer.
It's actually the Pokemon Snap Killer, since you're actually free walking around taking pictures of the Bugsnax. I was about to call them Pokemon.
The tasty Pokemon. Yeah. Do we have release dates for when this is going to happen?
April 28th.
Yeah.
Is when it's coming out.
Jesus, that's quick.
Yeah,
and
Xbox
and
is
the
doing
expansion
these weird shadow drops all the time. Yeah,
I think we talked about the expansion when it was announced, but that's also dropping the same day, and that's going to be for free.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to remind everyone this expansion is for free. Literally, how does the studio function?
Goodwill. Maybe they're eating Bugsnax. For every Bugsnax you download, they can eat for a week, and they're just eating
self-sufficiently surviving off of their own product.
They're probably just making money off all the deals. Like PlayStation pays them for putting it for free on PlayStation Plus that 1 month, then Xbox pays them for the Game Pass.
Yeah, and then Switch. Wait, no, and
Epic,
then Steam.
Epic pays them for the Epic Game Store version.
Yeah,
they're just cruising along on all these deals.
I wish I could crack the secret to Bugsnax success.
So I'm looking at howlongtobeat.com to sort of see how long Bugsnax will be. How long do you guys think this game goes for?
8
20
hours?
Well, the main story can be completed in 7.5 hours.
I was close.
Yeah, you're very close, yeah.
100% in 20?
Well, 100% in 13.
I was still closer.
Browning error. Yeah, what are we playing? Price is Right rules? Fine, you win.
Yeah. First one we both lost because I went over. Second one though, I win that one.
I might have to go on 100% this game when it comes out, just for the funny memes.
I've been meaning to as well, so maybe I'll do that as well.
Yeah.
Just so that you can snack on some bugs with the boys.
Yeah, exactly. We can talk about it on the pod.
Finally, a new release game we can all get behind.
I love how we're already shortening it to the pod. It's not even podcast anymore. He's too lazy. Time is too valuable.
No, it's just too ingrained. It's just routine. You wake up, get on that grind, get on the pod.
On that grind.
Moving on, Stephen, you got another article up?
Yes.
Stephen, speaking of grinding.
On that grind. So finally, the Xbox Series X mini fridge came to Australia for pre-order. Yay, we did it.
It instantly sold out on EB Games.
Yeah, so I was lucky. I got mine through JB. It's
which is also sold out now.
Yes, yeah, which is I got there. But it was $220.
Shit, that's not bad. I thought it was going to be more than that.
It's a fucking bar fridge. So essentially, to bring it up to the highest level.
I mean, he's not wrong.
When all those memes, when the original Xbox Series X was announced, and there was this mock-up of it being turned into a fridge, as a bit, Microsoft actually made a life-sized Xbox Series X fridge, and I think they gave away like 100 of those out to fans and what have you. But then, like, the demand was so strong for it, like, you know what? Let's make more money by like making essentially a mini fridge or a bar fridge that looks like an Xbox. And yeah, as soon as it came out in the US last year, I was nearly imported it, and it would have cost me like fucking like $600. And I wouldn't have
saving a good 400 now.
Yeah. I'm lucky.
You can buy two more.
I could. Well, they're all sold out now. Sorry, man. But the best part about it though is it has a USB charging station on it, so you can charge your fucking controllers on it. And
yeah, I was just looking at that. They got a USB port on the front.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
For size, it's 1.5 times the size of a regular Xbox Series X.
Yeah, as soon as I bought it, I went and in a fever of my excitement, I went and told my partner, and she's like, "Where are we going to put it?" In my
and now
heart,
you're single.
Yeah, no, she stays outside now, and the Xbox fridge has her bed, or her side of the bed. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's it. I'm pretty sure Josh got one as well, because he doesn't like having money either. So we'll do a joint review when it comes out, and we'll let you all know how it goes.
Looking forward to that. Of course, we hope that the natural follow-up is that now that we have the Xbox Series X replica mini fridge, that KFC will step the fuck up and actually release a video game console.
The one that fries your chicken or keeps it warm?
Yeah, that one.
Fuck yeah. When's that coming out? They said it wasn't a joke, didn't they?
Yeah, but it never happened. They probably only made one for testing and was like, wait a second, putting an oven next to a GPU is a bad idea.
GPU powers the oven, isn't it?
I can't remember actually.
Can I run Crysis?
They made one, but they made one with the 11 secret herbs and spices, so now they can't sell it for fear of people getting the recipe.
Do you reckon it's the KF console or the KFC console?
KF console.
Shit, that's a good question. I think surely it's KFC console, right? You say
I
KF console, people aren't going to associate that with the brand. They're just like, what the fuck's KF?
I mean, it just keeps it KFC instead of KFCC.
But it's KFC console, though. Okay, can we move on now?
Or KF console chicken.
When did that Soldier Boy console?
Those got taken off the market.
Yeah. Those got done for misleading consumers, I think.
Yeah, Soldier Boy.
I think it was literally plagiarism of another thing.
Yeah,
and even then it was worse, wasn't it? It was plagiarizing, but done even worse.
Yeah, I think it was. He literally took Chinese bootleg consoles and was reselling them.
Fuck yes. Anyway, next up on the list, we have an article from Gematsu, Bandai Namco, talking about trademarking the Last Recollection in Europe and Japan. I am not familiar with this at all. Someone told me that this was might be. Hang on, I've already lost where we're at.
It might be a new .hack collection.
Yeah,
because the last one was called Last Recode, and this is like the same vein of name, so we don't exactly know that for sure. It's just an estimate.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like I played the other one last year, the Recode collection. Fuck, that's aged like fucking dog shit. So I do have a vague recollection of hiring the first .hack game from a Blockbuster, playing it and loving it, and then having to give it back and one mom was putting it back, I cried because I thought she would break and buy it for me, but she didn't. Coward. But those games have aged like fucking dog shit. Like it was fucking awful. Like I was literally like forcing myself to play through it.
I need to give them a try on my own time because I haven't played them yet, but they've been something I want to check out for a long time. And I can deal with jank, so I'll see how that goes. But apparently there's like 4 other .hack games that could be included in this collection if this is what it is. .hack, infection, mutation, outbreak, and quarantine.
Yeah,
man, that is a bad list of words right now.
Rather unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, the whole premise of it is that there's like a virus running through this MMO, and you're like sort of playing in the MMO, but
is it like lauded as being very realistic?
So there's this anime called Sword Art Online. Right?
Yeah,
we don't talk about it.
So it's essentially that, but
anyway,
before that,
and
better.
We'll look forward to seeing whether or not the rumors are true on that. Next up on the list, we have Ultra Instinct Sign Goku coming to Xenoverse 2. Now, this is a YouTube trailer done by Bandai Namco Entertainment America. Can I get both of you to pull up that video?
I've already watched it multiple times.
That's fine.
Because I keep laughing at it.
Could people just go to the 46-second timestamp, please?
Yep.
46 seconds. It's a picture of his back. Yeah.
Yeah, but you need to listen to the audio because I believe this music is very familiar.
We're just gonna gloss over the dump truck of an ass that's being teased to us.
Is that what the fuck you're talking about? A stroke.
An ass worth $80.
Yeah. That might be a glowing endorsement from Saif.
And they're giving it away for free. I think they're giving these new characters away for free.
I haven't played Xenoverse 2. I actually looked at getting it when it was on sale ages ago, but I didn't end up pulling the trigger on it. Either of you play it?
I do not like the Xenoverse games. They control too weirdly for me.
Which one was the one that was like actually really, really good? Was that Fighter Z?
Yeah, that was Fighter Z.
It's in a different vein though. So Fighter Z is like a 2D fighter, whereas Xenoverse is like I don't want to say an arena fighter, but it's like a sort of a 3D fighter.
It's a bit of a mix of an arena fighter and an RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you look at like any fight in Fighter Z, it looks like it's ripped straight out of the anime, whereas I'm just looking at like the general environment in this gameplay trailer of, you know, Goku Ultra Instinct Sign, and
the characters are super glossy. The arena is very flat.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going for a tour through Legends of Arceus. Sorry,
God, you found a game that's
Legends of
comparable.
Holy shit, no. Yeah. It's all right.
Speaking of us,
the best part about Xenoverse, or the Xenoverse sort of series, is that you pretty much create your own like sort of self-insert character.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that it's fun, and then you like after a while, like you probably put like I think I put 10 or 15 hours into it. And like, okay, I'm bored of it. I'm putting it down, or maybe I'll go back to it later. Then you never think about it again until this comes up.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, people still play that?
It's been going on for a long time. Xenoverse 2 has been getting supported for like 4 years now, I think. It just keeps printing money for Bandai Namco, so they have no reason to stop.
I didn't think it would be printing that much. Man, what are the player counts looking like?
100% the reason I put this on the docket is because when you get to the 46-second mark, when you're watching this trailer, the music just sounds straight up like they stole E1M1 from Doom. And Dragon Ball games have a history of doing this, by the way, because Budokai 3 just straight up stole Earth, Wind, and Fire's Do You Remember?
Did they?
Yeah.
Such an iconic thing to take. Holy shit, that's ballsy.
Yeah, I'll have to show you guys this later on, but yeah, they just straight up stole that track.
That's amazing. I'll admit, I've seen quite a few episodes of Dragon Ball Z in my time. All of it has been dubbed. The voice of Goku in this sounds different.
Grandma Goku.
A little.
It's a female that does the voice in the Japanese dub.
Yeah, the woman that does Goku's voice now is like a tiny 80-year-old woman.
I see. So this is like true to I guess the subbed show.
Yeah. They Dragon Ball games always use the original voice actors for both the sub and the dub.
I mean that's cool. It's just very different to what I remember.
Oh yeah, Goku sounds very different in the sub.
Yeah, I don't know. There's too much more we need to add to that. The other YouTube trailer we have is Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes Mysterious Mercenary trailer from Nintendo. Fire Emblem 3 what's the actual game? Three Houses?
Three Houses.
Yeah.
Three Houses.
Three Houses took my interest, but everyone said that it's such a big investment, and I already have such a backlog of games that are big investments that I feel like Fire Emblem is one that I'd get into if I played, but I just haven't, and I'm kind of glad that I haven't.
I think it's like 100 hours to do all 3 paths.
Yeah,
4
roughly
even.
that.
I think it's 4 paths in the main game because one of the paths has a split as well, and then they also added a extra DLC path later on. So it's a big game.
So where does Three Hopes fit into this? Is this DLC?
This is
it's a spin-off.
This is a spin-off where it's a Dynasty Warriors style game
it's
that is doing its
game.
own story with its own 3 separate branching storylines in that same universe.
Right, because the combat looked so different, and I was wondering if I just missed something with what Three Houses combat was that I remember.
Yeah, no, this is a Dynasty Warriors clone.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the interesting thing about this trailer is that they're showing Byleth, which was the main character from Three Houses, is the villain for this game.
Very interesting.
I don't really have anything to add to that. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to get it because the only Warriors game I play are the One Piece Warriors games. But it just got me excited to do another run through of Three Houses. So I'll have to do that. Stay tuned.
I'm interested. I'm
See you in
interested
100
in
hours,
the fact,
buddy.
Yeah, I'm interested in the fact that they're advertising that Byleth's a villain. I doubt that's going to end up being what's the case. Like when they advertised some old Resident Evil games, they did. Oh, Chris looks like the villain in RE8, and DMC4 was being advertised as Dante is the villain, and both of those were not the case. So it could just be a fake out for this as well. But
or in Steve's case, people that get strawberry milkshakes from Krispy Kreme are the villain, but they actually turn out to be the good guys.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip that comment. The best part about this game coming out, though, means that we're actually getting another Smash character.
That's true.
No,
true.
Smash Ultimate is done, but we're getting another Smash game.
Yeah.
Wink.
And
By
it's
the way,
entirely
he's the
Fire
real
Emblem
last
characters.
They need
Sora.
They need something for the Switch.
The Switch. Finally, that name's gaining traction. Tried so hard to push that name. Glad to see it's finally catching on.
The last point I want to bring up as well is that both the main character, I think they're called Shez in this, Shez and Byleth both can be chosen the male and female variants for the storyline that you're doing. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, the same thing. The Three Houses did the same thing.
No, I mean like both of them. So like your main character, Shez, you get to choose between male and female, but you also get to choose Byleth being male or female. You don't usually get that sort of thing.
Okay, interesting. Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was just Byleth was canon, or the canon with around air quotes was canon female, but then at the same time, who cares? But no, it's cool they're doing that though. That's cool.
Next up on the list, we have an oopsie from Sony. Big oopsie. People buy a game that expired 50 years ago. Oops, could have happened to anyone really. Real easy mistake to make. Yeah, oopsie.
I don't know what's going on because so to put into like perspective of what's happening, people are buying games like Chrono Cross or Chrono Trigger, some old PS1 retro games on their PS3s and PS Vitas, and they can't launch them because for some reason there's an expiry date of 1969 on these, and that is a very odd and specific thing. Apparently, the specific date has some sort of meaning in tech that that
yes.
lines up with something. Would you like to elaborate on that, if Pat? Since you seem to know about it.
It's just like it. It was the most like That was the most like boomer trying to understand TikTok explanation that I've heard. Apparently, it has some sort of meaning in tech or something. So the date that it's being locked to is December 31st, 1969, and there's a fairly popular date which is used for like systems, which just starts as like, it's called like Unix epoch time, which starts January 1st, 1970. So a lot of date tracking will be like relative to 1970 because generally speaking computers weren't around before then, so it's generally a pretty safe bet to start times there. Decided arbitrarily pretty much, or there's probably some history that I don't really give a shit about, but everyone's thinking that there's just some like something happened somewhere in Sony's backend where a bunch of these probably ended up getting wiped, so they're getting replaced with default values where the default value is just 1970. So oopsie.
Yeah, and people think that this is happening because they're probably going through their back catalog now for that new PlayStation Plus service.
Yeah.
Some people are pointing the finger of they're locking these because they're going to push that service and they're going to make the PS3 and Vita versions redundant. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just some sort of technical hiccup that they've fucked up somehow, and Sony's fucked up this sort of stuff multiple times, so it's not surprising. And maybe we'll hear about a fix fairly soon because this is a big story.
I feel like if Sony were to decide that they want to purposefully expire everything to 50 years ago in favor of people being able to stream it as part of their new PlayStation Plus service, they could probably just go coffin shopping now. Save themselves the effort of trying to draw it out for too much longer because they would go down in flames. But yeah, hopefully that gets resolved. The good news is, if it's just like a mistake, there's probably some database that has all this stuff sorted, so it's probably relatively easy to fix once they figure out what the cause of the issue is. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. Thank you to Kotaku for that article. Next up, second to last on the list, we have rumors of a new Tactics Ogre game coming from Square Enix, because Square Enix have given us such bangers as I'm sure they've done like a game that was probably good at some point, but we have
just a little game known as Final Fantasy VII.
True, but I'm thinking more like Babylon's Fall and all the shit more recently.
Yeah, live action Avengers game, that was the best.
Yeah, that's right. Avengers, that was the other one.
If we're going that route, then Balan Wonderworld.
No, that's true. That's right, they did that.
Nothing but bangers from Square Enix. So we have an article from Gamatsu talking about how they have trademarked Tactics Ogre Reborn. I've never played a Tactics Ogre game. I'm surprised that it was a series.
I've never even heard of them, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I always thought these were an offshoot of the Final Fantasy Tactics games, but turns out they're something completely different. But they're also strategy RPG games, so unfortunate name for my own sort of internalization of what these games are. But no,
you buy it like, oh man, Square Enix must be Final Fantasy Tactics. This is gonna be great. Why the fuck?
What do you mean?
Here?
Why is there no Evilise? No, but the kind of biggest story behind this though is that this was Tactics Ogre Remaster was something that was put into the database leak that Nvidia GeForce had, which has also correctly shown that ActRaiser Renaissance was happening, the Chrono Cross Remaster was happening, Final Fantasy VII Integrate was happening, another Voice of Cards, and the next game we'll be talking about were all on that leak. So this is just more credence that, well, whatever was on that Nvidia leak is definitely happening at some point.
is now confirmed canon.
Yeah, there's been way too many games announced that was on that leak to go, no, that was fake.
And finally, lucky last, Saif has some news he'd like to share with the class. Take it away, Saif.
Okay, so 20th anniversary events of Kingdom Hearts happened the last weekend that just passed, and a lot of big things were announced. So
they doxed Sora.
Can't believe Sora got took out of Smash. Wow, they're really not fucking around.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't worry, lads. Quiet. First off, they announced that Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, the very popular and not at all a time-wasting mobile game, will be getting its last update that fully finishes the story on August 2022. And I also want to point out that this team that was making Unchained content got disbanded quite a while ago, so that's why they're doing this in one big batch, because there's no team to do it in periodic updates. Only 2 animators are working on this game at the moment, and they've been grinding on this game since the middle of last year by themselves. So
it should be out any day now. Maybe end of the year, you reckon?
No, I think it'll hit August, because this was meant to come out last year, I believe, at the end of last year, and then they had to delay it, and they just went, yeah, we'll announce when it's happening at a later time. So I think they're fairly confident in August release. But yeah, this will basically clear up the last remaining plot lines of Unchained Key and Dark Road and some other stuff involving Xehanort. So keep an eye on that. Next up was a new mobile game is happening, and I just want to say that when this trailer first started up, I thought this was going to be an MMO game, and as soon as the trailer shifted to show the phone aspect ratio, I put my face down onto the table. It sucked for me. This is also another continuation to the Unchained Key storyline. Now it's taking place between the events of Unchained Key and Dark Road, and they're saying it's going to be a 6-player game as well. It's going to support up to 6 players.
On the same phone?
No, not on the same phone. I'd like to see them try.
Well, fuck, now I'm not interested anymore.
So there are these things called folding phones, right? You can fold
what if you fold them all together? Make some sort of Megazord phone.
What if we folded? What if we split our Samsung Fold into left and right Joy-Cons and drifted together?
Drift away.
Initial D.
But yeah, this is going to be more of an action game than what Unchained Key was, as more along like what you'd expect from the mainline series. It can be played in portrait or landscape modes, and it's got a beta test scheduled for fall 2022. They did also say that there's like 2 modes to this game. There's going to be like a story aspect where you just kind of go through the story and play through it. But there's also going to be a Pokemon Go aspect to it where you can have it out while you're going around walking and everything and collecting materials for that story mode. But Nomura, the overseer and director of the Kingdom Hearts series, doesn't like Pokemon Go, so that's kind of like in there because Square Enix wants a Kingdom Hearts Pokemon Go, but he made the story mode so that people can play just sitting at home like he wants to do.
Fair enough. I can respect that.
Yeah, I can respect that as well. I'm not really sure what it means, but I mean, sorry, I should have. I'm not sure what this Kingdom Hearts story means in total. And let me rephrase that again. I do not want to know the extended Kingdom Hearts story that I recognize. Not a lot of people in that trailer.
Thank you for clarifying that, Steve. It was real touch and go for a sec there.
Yeah, I was worried that Saif was going to start going and we'd have to just kick him out of the chat or something. And he's still going.
No, I'd still keep going and just, I've got all my audio to go. I can talk to myself about Kingdom Hearts for like half an hour. Anyway, so after that, they shifted into the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. And something that was pretty cool about this, actually, well, I think it's cool anyway. I don't know about you guys. But the beginning shot shows like the interior of this building. And that was the building where they were at for the event. So basically, they were just kind of flexing and showing like just outside the room where people were watching the trailer and just showing like how good the graphics are, where they can recreate the exact building everyone was standing inside of. Then it goes on to show some forest area, which I will get into because this forest gameplay. I'll get into that a little later because that forest kind of showed something maybe that people are very excited about. And then we cut to Sora, who has brand new clothes after Kingdom Hearts 3. He runs into Strelitzia, a character from the original mobile games. And there's a lot going on in here that I can't elaborate on too much without spoiling Steve. since he was still going through the series, I'll let him get through Kingdom Hearts 3 and
Thank you
Melody of
very
Memory
much.
and everything.
Thank you very much.
I won't go into story specifics, but then it goes into gameplay where Sora's riding through the streets. He's going against a big new design for Darkseid, and this is all running in engine, but I don't think this is actual gameplay. This looks very much like proof of concepts. We just put a bunch of animations to make a cutscene, but all of this is kind of achievable within Unreal Engine, because this is, again, they're doing this trailer specifically in Unreal Engine 4, but they've said that they're going to be moving the project over to Unreal Engine 5 now that that's released.
So does that mean they essentially have to start the project again?
No, not at all.
If you listen to last week, Steve.
Yes, all of Unreal 4 could be ported into Unreal 5, but wouldn't you want to do more things? Like, maybe because my concept of game design is very close to nil. Like, it goes in the factory machine. The factory machine works for 20-hour weeks for 365 days. And then I get Cyberpunk 2077.
Epic Games has basically shown that moving a project from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5 is as easy as opening up the project files in Unreal 5 and then pressing a button to turn on all the Unreal Engine 5 features.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so everything that they've basically magic. Everything they've worked on up to now does not have to be restarted, which is fantastic.
It's so simple that even Cyberpunk 2077 could do it.
It is simple and clean.
Shut the fuck up. You did not just fucking do that. That was fucking simple and clean. I'll give you that much. Jesus.
Anyway,
Christ,
after Sora deals with the Heartless, it cuts to a shot of Donald and Goofy walking through what I assume is the Olympus Coliseum underworld, because a blue flame pops up, and based on the voice, I assume that is Hades. Getting into some deeper details that happened afterwards, because I'm kind of mixing between what's happening in the trailers and what's happening from question and answers that happened afterwards. They can't say much about the game right now. They basically only showed it to avoid leaks. Too late for that, because it showed up in the NVIDIA leak.
Yeah, it's getting more real. Yeah, it's getting more and more real.
Everything that was shown in the trailer is running in real time, so nothing was pre-rendered. This takes place exactly after Melody of Memory, and the art style that was shown in the trailer is because of specifically where they are in this world, like the world of Quadratum. So in Kingdom Hearts 3, they changed textures and art styles depending on the world, and this is just further proof that this is still happening. So this more realistic Final Fantasy style is specifically because of that world, and they showed Donald and Goofy at the end to show that the original Kingdom Hearts art style will still be in the game. They're still in the progress of selecting what worlds will be in the game, and Nomura was torn. So this is very much a me specific thing, because I assume that Steve and Patrick know nothing about this, but I want to get it out there. Nomura was torn between doing Verum Rex or Kingdom Hearts 4 for the next title, and he discussed this with the co-director of the Kingdom Hearts games, Tai Yasu, and they decided to go with Kingdom Hearts 4 because they can't do two big console games at once, and he felt like fans were very worried about Sora's state of affairs at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, so they want to answer what's happening with that. Yeah, so to go back to the forest that was shown from earlier, there's a lot of people are theorizing that this forest that was shown is Endor, because for a little bit of one of the frames, it looks like at the top of the corner you can see a back of an AT-ST's leg. So I just want to get your guys' thoughts. What do you think of Endor being in a Kingdom Hearts game, if this is what's happening?
Neat.
Oh,
the Chronomancer, the big fella. I'm excited. It'll probably come out in like about 15 years, you reckon? Probably on Unreal Engine 6, but we'll get there.
Man, I'm so sick of that joke. The Kingdom Hearts games don't actually take all that long to make. It's just that 3 was long because they had to restart on a new engine because the original engine sucks shit, so they had to restart everything on Unreal Engine 4.
And they had to do like 40 spin-off games in the meantime.
That was more like those things were happening in between 2 and 3 anyway, and they were always meant to be like 2 leads into Birth by Sleep, which leads into Dream Drop Distance. So it's not really spin-offs, more like they were putting off doing the number 3 for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't really have a horse in the race for Kingdom Hearts, but of the people who I know who are massive Kingdom Hearts fans, they would, I'd imagine, be fairly excited that there's a Star Wars world in a Kingdom Hearts game. But that's just that's just like, you know, that's my impression of some of my mates.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm surprised that they're going with episode 6. I would have thought that they'd do A New Hope instead as like their first visit to Star Wars, because if this is Star Wars, this is the first time they're doing it. So I would have assumed that they do the original film before they did the end of the original trilogy. Because I can't think of if Kingdom Hearts has ever done a world where they're like smack dab in the middle or the end of a Disney plotline and not at the beginning of it. God, that feels weird to say Star Wars, Disney still. I know we've had like the entire sequel trilogy, but it still feels weird to think of the original trilogy as Disney.
Could you imagine if they started smack at the end? Like the first thing you see is the final moment in episode 9.
That'd actually be interesting because it wouldn't just be a repeat of the movie plot. They'd be doing something new with that setting.
All right, I take that back. Imagine that they just play out the events of episode 9.
I want it to be episode 8. I want them to follow Poe and Rose around because that was the most important part of it.
What, just be on a spaceship for 90 minutes and then credits?
Yes.
Nice. Gameplay, let's go.
Hopefully it's 69 minutes.
I want the entire game to be on that casino planet. Like, what I wanted the question answered to, what about that kid that was apparently force sensitive right at the end? What's his story?
I want it to be just on the ship where you constantly have to hold down a button. Otherwise, if you stop, the ship behind you catches up to you and you die. But if you hold it down for 90 minutes, you win. You beat the level.
You know, the Death Star would have been... okay, so Death Star would have been neat, but I can kind of see Endor being interesting because you could do a mix between space combat and land combat. Because Kingdom Hearts does have space combat in it, so you could do the mix of the two for the one level.
I hope they have the Moana world. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, Moana world would be fun. I still want a Princess and the Frog world.
Yeah, haven't seen
like
that movie actually,
both?
to be honest.
Like a princess world and a frog world? Or a world where they coexist?
A world where they coexist.
I thought the princess turns into a frog.
That sounds like class mixing to me, and I will not stand for it.
I just mostly want that because I think the villain and the voodoo magic would be very interesting for a Kingdom Hearts game.
Fair enough.
I hope they have a live action Lion King world. That'd be funny.
I
live
want
action Unreal Engine 5 lions.
So you know how Agrabah has been in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, right?
It's in like all of them, but yeah.
I want live action Agrabah in this.
Yeah, that's true. Then it would be canon that Will Smith slapping Sora. We've done it, fellas. It sold millions.
It'd be fantastic.
Who knew that slap was actually leaked in the Nvidia leaks?
God, not me. I thought that leak was fake until recently. It took Kingdom Hearts 4 to convince me that leak was real. But yeah, no. I'll put a pin in that Kingdom Hearts discussion for now.
Sweet. Obviously. Yeah, I'm sure we'll hear more about it as we go along. But overall excited, I take it?
Extremely excited. I've been very excited for Kingdom Hearts 4, like, ever since the secret ending of Kingdom Hearts 3. They showed they were taking things in a different direction with that, and I'm very keen on what they're doing with it.
I have to play Kingdom Hearts 3 and Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance and Melody of Memory and 2.8 and whatever else there is.
A lot of games.
You okay there, Steve? You You
It's
got
getting a bit
less and less
overwhelmed.
excited as you went on.
He realized how big the series was after 2.
Yeah. Oh well, I've got it. I own it all. They're just sitting on my Xbox. Just
Do
need
you
to play
own it all, or is it all on Game Pass?
No, I actually do own it all because I bought them in 2019. And then in early
That's right. You talked about this
2020
before.
Yeah, and then early 2020, it came to Game Pass. And I'm like, life is suffering.
Are they still on Game Pass actually, or did they get
No,
removed?
they got removed. But then at the same time, that might have encouraged me to go faster if I knew they were going.
Well, the good news is, if you don't own them, you can stream them directly via your Switch.
I heavily do not suggest that. Like, not even as a bit. Do not do that.
Anyway, that does bring us to the end of the news this week. Time for an audience question. Wow, look at that. So, big fan of the show Tom writes in. He asks, what aspects should someone who is moderately into games but hasn't purchased a console in 16 years consider when choosing a current gen console? Asking for a friend. Yeah, all right. What's he asking for you, Steve? Are you his friend? You looking to buy a proper console?
Yes.
Not your,
What do you mean?
not
I've
your
got an
shitty Xbox?
Well, unless they've got the PC2 coming out soon, I don't think I'll be buying one of those.
PC2.
They're still running Steam engines. Like, bro, we've got combustion engines now. We don't need Steam.
Wow, look at that. That was a weirdly high IQ joke for you. You feeling okay? Well, that Kingdom Hearts chat seem to have gotten to you.
I saw a funny meme about it, so it's
So
stolen.
it's just fresh in the brain. Yeah, so this is an interesting one because I also like the Switch is I'm pretty sure it's the last console that I've bought, unless I'm missing something really obvious, but that was back in 2016, I think. Yeah.
17.
Shoot, man. Been a while. But yeah, so that was 5 years ago, and I don't think I've bought any other console since. The one before that would have been my 3DS. So what I'm saying is, I don't really. I'm not a good person to ask about this because I don't have anything current gen.
Well,
Seth,
the Switch is current gen.
Yeah, Switch is current gen.
Okay, like debate it. Like I bought it 5 years ago. It's debatably current gen.
When the Switch comes out.
Yeah, exactly. Holding out for the Switch. That'll be the one. I'll be
be
first in
announced
line for that one.
It'll be announced at E3.
Find me
Legitimately
camped outside EB Games.
Legitimately, to answer the question, I think it comes down to games and what's on offer. So, Steve talks up Xbox and everything all the time, but to me, I don't have a need for an Xbox myself because everything that they do on Xbox, they also release on PC, so I'm set in that department. So that just leaves me with like PlayStation and Nintendo as my options, and I do both. I get everything covered basically. So if you're just in the market of trying to get one, just look what, like, video game wise, what are they offering, and take, because that's the most important thing for a video game console. What games are you going to be playing on it? You want to make sure they're what you want to play and what you're going to be happy with. So go for that.
So on that, sorry, I'm just going to cut in quickly, Steve. On that's an interesting point though, because if you look at something like the PS5, right? This is entirely hypothetical. I'm not sure that there's a right answer here, but because you have a PS5, right?
Yeah.
So PS5, for those of you who don't remember, has been chronically in high demand. People scalping it all the time, all of that stuff. And I think you could also argue that it's had a fairly slow release of there weren't a huge number of launch titles. There were good launch titles, but there haven't been a huge number of them. So
yeah,
if you balance out how rare they are to get alongside what games either are available or are coming up, would you be looking more at what you could play, like, let's say you go buy a PS5 tomorrow, would you be looking more at what you can go and play tomorrow? Or would you be looking at that and going, I want a PS5 because eventually all these games that are in the pipeline will come out, even if that's not immediate? Like, does that change your decision-making process at all? Or did that change yours?
So taking into consideration that Tom's question is, they haven't purchased, well, their friend hasn't purchased a console in 16 years. Yeah. I'd say the PS5 would be worth it right away for them because they've got the entire back catalog of PS4 games as well to go through.
Ooh,
and
good point.
they're also heavily improved on PS5, so it's just a straight up good way to get into it because you've got the PS4 library to go through, you've got what little there is exclusively on the PS5, and you're getting like the best bang for your buck for those games with that console.
Not to mention, for the highest PlayStation Plus subscription, you can stream PS3 games.
Sure.
So the counterpoint to that, and this is once again me shilling Xbox, is that the Microsoft sort of suite with Xbox is now the whole games as a service thing with Game Pass, which is a lot better. And it also comes down to what type of games you want to play. If you don't know what games you want to play, Game Pass is a fantastic addition because there's so many titles on there from the really popular ones like Halos or having a complete mental blank, but like Dragon Ball FighterZ, I don't know, we were speaking about that before, and to your weird lesser known ones like the entirety of the Yakuza series. And they did have Kingdom Hearts on there before, and they've even got some niche indie titles like Subnautica or Outer Wilds. So, and with the acquisition that Xbox is doing with studios, is all the Bethesda games are coming, like Starfield, one of the biggest games of 2022 is coming out on that console, Game Pass day one, and that's a big thing. They're spruiking it. So essentially you can, even if you don't know what you want to play, you can buy Xbox. You get 3 months of Game Pass for $1, I think, of what it is. Check it out if you like it. Keep on with Game Pass. Use a VPN to Argentina and get 3 years for like $100. You're golden. You don't really have to buy another game unless you really want to.
Doesn't that mean you have to play every game subbed?
No. That's not how it works.
See, I
See,
I was,
yes.
No, I'm to follow up on what Steve just said. I didn't really take that perspective because I kind of looked at the question and kind of just imagined that maybe this friend of Tom's already has a PC that's well done, and they're just kind of looking at the console market and going, well, what can I get from there? And on the PC side, you're covering the Xbox Game Pass stuff with the Game Pass that's on PC as well. So you could just point to them and go, hey, get PC Game Pass, and you get kind of like the same sort of library that the Xbox has.
Yeah, that's true. And even with the basic Xbox, actually no, sorry, you only get it with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but you can stream games to your PC or your phone as well. So even if you've got like a shitty laptop from like 10 years ago, as long as you've got don't want to say good internet connection in Australia, but as long as you've got a stable internet connection, with all the rain, it's not doing me any favors at the moment.
Copper wire, baby, let's go.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it also turns out what the person's travel time is. Like if they have to travel an hour into work, there and back from work each day, a Switch is fantastic because you can hold that, and because it's just
definitely.
And that's got a lot of games that are quite fun, and a lot of games are coming to the Switch these days. And Nintendo's really getting big with their sort of indie scene. So there's a shit ton of games on there. The thing that I do, and I always was deciding on whether to upgrade the console, would be like, am I actually buying the console for the sake of consumer hype, or am I buying the console because there are a bunch of games I want to play? And that's why.
And for Xbox, it's more of column A, and for PlayStation, it's more of column B.
Yeah, exactly. And with the Xbox Series X, I bought that with Josh as well on release. Realistically, not because there were any games coming out on it, but because they could play all my old games in a bit more of they could upscale it to 4K, and they could boost some games up to 60 frames per second, and load times were significantly reduced. So it wasn't about the new games coming out, but because of these new generation of consoles can play the old games better. It's just, you can go back and revisit all the classics that you might have missed.
Yeah, and Xbox's back compat is also a very good argument for going that route because they did such a fantastic job on it.
Yeah, you can buy a bunch of old Xbox 360 games off eBay for like $10 for like 20 games. Probably 90% of them will run. And then most of them will be like, yeah, cool, like there's an upgraded version of this, we'll download it for you. No additional payment required. Just put the disc in and you're ready to go.
So the only thing that I want to add to this conversation is that if we rewind time to 5 years ago, young pre-COVID me, just as good looking. Don't worry. He was looking at purchasing a Nintendo Switch, and he had options of, PlayStation 4 and whatever Xbox console for, was out at a similar time. But for me, the calculus was slightly different. It was actually less about what games were available. When you are 5 years ago me, you're living in a flat with a bunch of other people with, if you're lucky, one TV and maybe a computer monitor if you have a desktop, but otherwise some shitty laptop screen. So for me, the Switch was sort of a no-brainer because not only did the marketing absolutely suck me in as it being like this hyper-portable, socially focused console, but it was also a good blend of, if I'm moving flats every year, which of course when you're a student you typically do until you find somewhere stable, it's not an issue when you're moving from a place to a place and you're not sure who you're living with or what the situation or setup's going to be, because the Switch is probably the most self-sufficient console that you can get, and that combined with games that generally suit kind of like a pull out Mario Party / Super Smash Ultimate or something at like a flat party, it just goes well. So I guess the only thing that I'd add to that conversation is, if you haven't bought a console in a bunch of time, it's not as simple as just buying one now, unless you are in some sort of stable living situation. But not everyone listening might be in that. And, if you are in a fairly transient position, something like a Switch, or I don't think anyone would recommend buying a 3DS now, despite how good the games are that are still available for it. But something portable, like having something portable is very underrated when you have a transient housing situation. I'll say that.
Yeah, and portable consoles are like massive in Japan for a reason like that. And I don't know, for some reason, I feel like our market is more like focused on people staying at home all the time and playing, which is why consoles are more dominant. But yeah, no, the Switch perfectly hits that ground of the type of quality you want from a video game console, while also being highly portable and take it anywhere and like any sort of lifestyle it works with.
Interesting, because I don't think we've got too much more to add to like the core question, but I'm just going to randomly throw an extension into that. I know that the Steam Deck isn't properly available in Australia, but let's say that it is, just hypothetically. Would you consider the Steam Deck a current gen console?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
And
I'd argue that it's a Switch killer.
What decision making would make you more or less likely to get it compared to, say, a console? Is it as simple as the portability aspects of the Switch just on a PC level, or what are your thoughts?
It's just portability of it. That's literally the only point of difference. Like a Steam Deck is essentially a portable PC.
Yeah, it's basically a Switch laptop.
Yeah, and you run a lot more. Well, you just got broader access of games in it because it's already paired up with your Steam library. You don't even have to buy any more games. Like, okay, I already own 40 fucking million games from like Humble Bundle sales or like 90% off sales. It's when it does come to Australia, is it probably 4 or 5 years too late because the Switch has already got that market? Probably. But it's probably something that I'm personally going to be looking at because the laptop that I've got at the moment, it's just a bit bulky to sort of play games. It's just not as comfortable. There's nothing comfier than like lying down on the couch after a long day of work, which is sitting in the desk like 10 meters away, and then like booting up the Switch.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Or in the before times when it was sunny, I would take my Switch onto the balcony and bask in the sun like the reptile I am, and just sort of squint my eyes with the glare.
Yeah, but I think that's also worth pointing out, right? Is that just because someone might now be in a position of, I can afford a current gen console, there is an argument to be said for like PS5, solid, big hitter. Series X, whatever, I'm sure is also a big hitter. I'm just not familiar with the Xbox ecosystem. But if there is something on the horizon, whether or not you hold out for that, I'm not saying we're going to get a PlayStation 6 anytime soon, but you know what I mean? Like something like the Steam Deck is kind of like an underrated, it's not available now, but it will be soon. But it is, as you say, a current gen console. It's just not available yet. But I'd say that it goes under the radar when you talk about what console to buy.
May I also suggest looking to the past and going on eBay to get a PlayStation Vita,
What games are on the Vita?
All of them, just homebrew it.
Yeah, you can emulate it. Well, that's another thing to point out as well. Like, don't buy a current gen console just for the sake of buying a current gen console. Like, if all the games you want are on like the previous gen, like just your Xbox Ones or your PS4s, pick one of those up for cheap and play those games.
Yeah, and they are very cheap now.
Yeah, and don't get sucked into newer is better. Like, it is, but you don't need it. Don't just consume for the sake of consuming.
The only counterpoint to that really is that by buying a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, that the PS4 and Xbox One libraries are just improved on those consoles.
Yeah, and who knows how long the life cycle of them, like when will they stop releasing games for the Xbox One or the PS4?
I don't know that there's a huge amount more we can add to the conversation. Any final thoughts from either of you? I've sort of said all I want to say about it.
Yeah, no, it's a complicated question that more comes down to like what you're looking for. It's you gotta ask yourself like, what do I want a console for, and go based on that.
You gotta look at yourself in the mirror and think, how did I get here? Is this rock bottom? I want to buy.
Why do I have all this disposable income?
If you think you've got too much disposable income, you can send it into Fast Travel Lounge.
Yeah, hopefully
we're looking for sponsors.
True. If you have too much disposable income and you happen to be Krispy Kreme, let us know. No, hopefully that answers your question, Tom. If you or someone that you know wants us to answer a question, get in touch. We are on Twitter at Fast Travel Lounge -1 of the L's. Facebook, I'm gonna have to say that every week till the day I die, aren't I? Facebook at Fast Travel Lounge with both L's. Boom, big win. Or ye old-fashioned mailbag, fasttravellounge@gmail.com. If you've enjoyed what you're hearing, feel free to give us pick one from the following list: like, rate, subscribe, share, 5-star review, comment. I think I've hit most of the buzzwords. Talk, if you're that way inclined. Don't know if that's what the kids are doing these days.
What the fuck is a talk? What the fuck?
I don't fucking know. I heard it once and I'm scared.
Are you having a stroke?
I think he is. We should hurry up and wrap this up.
It's the sugar crash, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, that does bring us to the end of episode 19. Next week, big one. Not only is it Easter, episode 20. Boom. Second decade of episodes. What can we look forward to? Saif, what are you up to next week?
I have no clue, man.
Fair enough. That's cool. That's cool.
Ace Attorney 2, I guess.
And some chocolate and hot cross buns, probably.
Oh no, I avoid hot cross buns. I don't really like them.
What the fuck, man? Jesus Christ.
I don't mind the raisin ones, but any other ones I don't really like. You don't mind
the raisin? Oh, big fella. What the fuck, man? You think you know a guy.
You're lucky this is the outro. Otherwise, we'd have to get into this. Steve, what about you? How many hot cross buns are you eating next week?
Fucking 40 more than Saif is. Just to make up for it. But yeah, so I'll be doing that. I'll probably be putting myself in a bit of a food coma because the diet starts next week, right, fellas? Haha.
Diet starts Monday. Same with Jim.
It'll start actually probably the week after because you get all the half-price chocolates after Easter.
Father's Day Sunday.
Is it? No, it's not. Anyway, so I'll be playing the Last of Us Part 2, hoping that my PlayStation doesn't burn down my house, and Elden Ring to see if it actually does get better. I'm
sure it probably will.
And how about you, Patrick?
I don't know. Food coma, always plan A. All right, it's Easter next week.
You said that already.
Yeah,
are you sure you're not having a stroke there, big fella?
It's a bit. Oh my god.
Are you sure?
No, well, now I'm not.
No, I think. Well, it's not a bit if it's a bite. That's what you're biting into.
There we go. Probably has raisins in it too. Food coma. I don't know. I will be flying down to visit the parents next week, so I'll be taking my Switch on a plane.
Big bonus.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, can't do that with a PS5, can you? See if I'm sure there's some stuff that is on the Switch that I haven't finished yet. God forbid I start Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is on the Switch, and I'm absolutely terrified to begin.
Gotta get ready for Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Indeed.
It's only 60 hours.
Otherwise, there is always
Minimum.
Monster Hunter, and I will be forever content with that. But thank you for listening to episode 19. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Please stop doxing Sora, everyone.
Happy birthday, Mr. Easter Bunny.